a band and sang. You broke my will, but what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great ball of fire. I like the double ball, I thought it was funny. You came along and moved me, honey. I changed my mind, the stuff is fine. Goodness gracious, great ball of fire.
Hey, how about that song? Does that bring back some memories or what? We have a very special program for you today. Mary and I have put together a little listing of some popular songs from the 50s and 60s, and Mary is right here to tell us more about it. Mary.
Yes, we're going to do a little different today. We have no guest. We wanted to share different music from different years, and I picked the 50s because I think there was a lot of music during the 50s. It was a very popular, fun time. It was called the birth of rock and roll, and as we go through some of these people who were singers and played their music during those years, you'll recognize them. We started out with Jerry Lee Lewis and Great
Balls of Fire.
Yes, Great Balls of Fire. That's what he was famous for. So I picked out a few that might be familiar, and we'll play a few as we go along, just excerpts from some of them. One popular one was called the Everly Brothers.
Yeah.
And they were from 1958. And all I have to do is dream.
Dream, dream.
And wake up little Susie.
Okay.
That was such a cute one.
Yeah.
Wake up little Susie. Then another one that's a great oldie is Dean Martin. He was included in the birth of rock and roll. And one
you mean like Lewis and Martin?
No,
Martin?
Not yet.
Oh,
not
okay.
yet. He was off on his own first.
Oh, I didn't
And then
know.
he went in with Lewis later on. But one of his favorite songs, and one of my favorites, That's Amore.
That's Amore.
Yes, that was a good one for him.
Okay. Well, let's. Why don't we play some of these songs for our listeners? Okay. Go ahead, Mary.
Hits your eye like a big pizza pie. That's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll sing Vita Bella. Hearts will play tippy-tippy-tay, tippy-tippy-tay, like a gay tarantella.
Oh, Dean Martin. All right. That was cool. Hey.
Another, the most famous of all, of course, was Elvis Presley.
Well, certainly.
He was the king of rock and roll. The king of rock and roll.
We got to have an Elvis Presley song. Right about now.
Which one do we want to have?
Here's Elvis. All right.
You know I can be found sitting home all alone. If you can't come around, at least please telephone. Don't be cruel to who heart is true. Baby, if I made you mad for something I might have said, please don't forget my past. The future looks bright ahead. Don't be cruel to who heart is true. I don't want no other love, baby, it's just you I pick it up.
Yeah, and when I think of the 1950s. Buddy Holly. Remember him?
Yes, Buddy Holly, the great guy who lost his life way too soon.
Can't you just see yourself twisting around on that floor?
Yes.
Just going romp, boom, boom, boom.
He had a good following. Well, all these rock and roll people did. The young people of that era, which was Phil and I also in the 50s, followed all that music. Not that we got to see them that much, but we got to listen to them.
Yeah.
And then when we got TVs, which we got some in the 50s, we could see them on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yes.
And another...
That's where the Beatles first came on the scene.
That's in the 60s, though.
Well, that was in the 60s.
Yes, we'll get to the Beatles later on.
They're a little later in this. Okay.
Yes. But another thing in the 50s was Dick Clark's American Bandstand.
Oh, I loved it.
And so much of this popular music was done there. He played so many things that everybody liked, and he had a big following also of dancers and singers, and I watched it a lot. I was in high school in the 50s, so that was right down my lane. And we had what we called dances at school in the school gym, and they were called sock hops.
Sock hops, I remember.
Because you came in the door and you took your shoes off and you danced all night in your socks.
Yes.
One of the main reasons was they didn't want to scuff up the gym floor. So you danced in your socks and you kept it clean, and then you went home with dirty socks. But it was fun. We had a good time. We played all these old music.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, at the time, it wasn't old.
No, at the time it was right in our era.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. How about this one? Let's see. I bet we'd remember this one.
Here's a good one from Fats Domino.
I left my thrill. I found my thrill. On Blueberry Hill. I'm seeing a picture of this man, and Fats is a good word to describe this.
He played a mean piano.
Yeah. Now, in my circle, where we dance the sock hop, I would call that song a slow song for dancing. Yeah. The stroll, I remember that, yeah. Oh, it's too bad we're not in video. We can demonstrate the stroll.
I found one on Dick Clark.
The stroll?
The kids are doing the stroll. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
How about this one? I won't say which one it is, and then you can see if you can guess it.
Okay, it's time to guess the next song coming up from Mary. What do we got?
Another famous dance was the twist.
Twist, for sure.
Good exercise also.
Good exercise. You just couldn't sit still with that music in the background. Yeah. Go Chubby. There he goes. Oh, children.
Who's that song up there? Is it a bird?
And their backup music was so great.
Uh-huh.
The people that played for them in the background, their musicians, they were fantastic. Sometimes they don't get enough credit, but I think they really deserve it because they were good.
Come on, let's twist again. Up with your nice ear. Do you remember when things were really humming?
Did we do Peggy Sue?
Come on, let's twist
No.
again.
I'm going to switch that way.
Okay.
Okay, next song up, Buddy Holly singing Peggy Sue.
One of his most famous songs.
If you knew Peggy Sue, then you know why I feel blue without Peggy. My Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, Galley. I love you, Peggy Sue.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to play one more, and then we're going to do something a little bit different.
Okay.
See, Phil could guess this one.
Wow. Sounds like an old movie.
Mona Lisa,
Oh.
Mona Lisa,
louder.
named you. You're so like the lady with the mystic smile.
There's only one voice like that.
Right.
Nat King
Is it
Cole.
only 'cause you're lonely? They have blamed you.
Now
Was
that's the kind of song you would want to be the last song of the evening at
Yeah.
your sock hop.
Yeah.
So you and your girl could.
Strangeness in your
Turn the lights down low. The girl would put her head on his shoulder
Do you
and
smile?
just
You wouldn't really dance. You just kind of sway
back and forth.
Sway back and forth. Yeah.
Or is this your way to hide?
I think you'd call his voice a velvety voice.
Velvety. Yeah.
Many dreams have been brought to your doorstep. They just lie there, and they die there. Are you warm? Are you real? Mona Lisa, are just a cold, lonely, lovely work of art.
Beautiful song. Okay, now we've done quite a bit of music here. I have something a little different to talk to you about during the 50s.
Uh-huh.
I looked up some information about things going on at that time. Does anybody remember who the president was in the 50s?
Oh.
Who did we vote for? I couldn't vote, I was in high school, but our parents.
Yeah.
He was a famous military man.
Oh. Dwight Eisenhower.
Right, Dwight Eisenhower was our president
Yeah.
during that time. And the U.S. population at that time is 168 million.
What?
And
Really?
I suppose it's tripled by now.
Yeah.
Cost of living in the 50s. You'll be totally shocked. Yearly income was $4,700.
$4,700
$4,700 was the yearly income.
for a typical family.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. The minimum wage was $1.
Gosh.
Stamps were 3 cents.
Okay.
I remember that. I remember my mother going to the post office and getting a bunch of 3-cent stamps to send out her Christmas cards.
Mm-hmm.
Gas was 30 cents a gallon.
And then they had gas wars. I
Oh, yeah.
remember in Waterloo.
Yeah, probably.
So you'd compete with a gas station down the street that was selling it for 28. Okay.
bread was 27 cents a loaf.
Oh my.
I know. And a movie ticket was 59 cents. 59 cents.
59 cents. That's back when a penny was really a penny.
Yeah, a penny was worth something in those days.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob Barker came to light in the 50s by having his program Truth or Consequences.
Oh.
And that was a very popular one that everybody
Yeah,
liked
I
to
remember
watch.
that. Yeah.
Right. Some of the movies, and I'm a movie buff anyway,
Okay.
that played Oklahoma,
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Carmen Jones. That was a popular movie.
Carmen Jones.
Yes, it was a popular movie in the 50s.
Oh, I missed that one, but
Annie, Get Your Gun.
Annie, Get Your Gun. Okay.
Yes, Carousel.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful movie. Brigadoon, set in Ireland.
Uh-huh.
It was good. Kiss Me, Kate. And that was just on the Turner Classic Movie channel this past week with Howard Keel and Katherine Grayson.
Oh.
South Pacific, which is one of my all-time favorites.
Uh-huh.
Love the music from South Pacific.
I'm gonna wash that
Man right out of my hair. I'm going to wash that man right out of my hair and send him on his way. Guys and Dolls. That was a
Okay,
popular
yeah.
one. Very popular one.
Who was the head guy in that one?
Well, Frank Sinatra was
Oh,
in
Frank.
it.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up to see.
Okay, that's
Gene
enough.
Simmons was the gal that ran the Salvation Army unit. But yeah, it was good. And the way they talked in New York at that time was kind of interesting. I gotta,
New York.
yeah, I gotta bang out of their language. Of course, another favorite, and it's a very long movie, is The King and I,
Uh-huh.
with Yul Brynner and Deborah Carr. It was fantastic, and it was on recently too.
Now, all these famous movies of the 50s were also musicals.
Yes,
I mean,
that's what I'm picking out.
Yeah,
The
okay.
musicals. Yeah.
Musicals? All right.
They were popular in those days. They were popular. There were serious movies. Probably Hitchcock had some serious movies,
Mm-hmm.
but we hadn't heard of Spielberg or Tarantino or some of those guys yet.
Yeah.
They hadn't come to light yet. So
A movie I remember now that you brought this up from that era, I believe, was Stalag 17.
yes, a war movie.
William Holden and
Yes,
others. Yeah,
that was a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of serious movies. I just happened to pick up on the musicals.
Okay.
And Elvis at that time was making movies too. He made 6 movies between 1956 and 1959. 6 movies.
That's 2 movies every
He was
year.
very popular. Yeah, he would just went non-stop. So that's some of the information that I got about living in the 50s.
Mm-hmm. Those 27 cents for a loaf of bread or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
So you could just go on about the 50s for a long, long time. A long, long time, because there was so much that happened in those years. And they were fairly peaceful years too.
Yeah.
But if we want to move on to the 60s,
Let's do.
we could
Okay.
stroll
Stroll.
into the 60s.
Okay, Dick Clark.
Yeah, he
Ba-
still
American
was going.
Bandstand.
He was still going in the 60s.
Yeah.
But who else came to light in the 60s? That made their debut on the Ed Sullivan Show,
Ah, the Beatles.
February 1964. The Beatles.
Beatles. Okay,
They took the United States by storm.
they did.
They had people falling in the aisles, screaming and hollering, throwing their clothes
No, I
all
think it was
over.
mostly girls.
Yes, I'm sure it was girls. I don't think the boys,
Okay.
they just kind of shied away. Didn't
Yeah.
want to get trampled by the girls.
Yeah. That was hard competition for us guys.
Yeah.
The Beatles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was a group called the Kingsmen. They were popular. And the Rolling Stones
Oh, yeah.
were another group that came to light in the 60s.
Yeah.
And some orchestras were going along at that time. Percy Faith,
Oh,
he
yeah.
played a theme from A Summer Place.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other Everly Brothers again, we're still going in the 60s. Kathy's Clown was a song they were popular for. And another guy called Johnny Preston, and he sang Running Bear. I'm going to see if I can get that.
Running Bear. Boom, 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 boom.
On the bank of the river stood Running Bear, young Indian brave. On the other side of the river stood his lovely Indian maid. Little white dove was of her name, such a lovely sight to see. But they tried, but with each other, so their love could never be. Running Bear, love little white dove, with a love big as the sky. Running Bear, love little white dove, with a love that couldn't die.
Okay, now we're going to play a song.
Okay, what do you got?
Well, I'll surprise you.
Hey, in case you haven't noticed by now, this is a program we're putting together as we speak. We hope you're enjoying this look back at old, famous, hit music from the 50s and the 60s. A time when many of our listeners were young adults. And, oh, I hear some more music. What do you have, Mary?
Hey Jude, don't make it bad.
Hey, Jude. Yes.
Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your home. Then you can start to make it better. Hey Jude, don't be afraid. You were made to go out and get high. The minute you let her under your skin, then you begin to make it better.
A couple other famous people during that same time was Stevie Wonder, who fascinated us. I think he just fascinated me by being able to play the piano blind
Yeah.
and know all the songs that he knew. He just became so popular.
Uh-huh.
We really liked Stevie Wonder.
Did you have any music from him?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. But another thing that was popular in those days was records. We'd go to the store and we'd buy records of all these famous people. We had record players, whether we had portable record players or one that was attached in with your television in a big console, but everybody played records and you danced on your living room floor at home
Mm-hmm.
to that. And then you were prepared to go to a dance after you
Yeah.
practiced at home. That was
I
fun.
remember going to the record store and you got to sort of get a preliminary understanding of the record, and they would let you play the
Yes.
45 before you bought it.
Yes, you could do that.
Yeah.
A demo, kind of
Uh-huh.
a demo that they would let you do.
Yeah.
That kind of covers a lot of musical genre through the 60s.
Uh-huh.
For a few,
Uh-huh.
not everybody, because
Not-
there were lots and lots, but
Yeah.
some of the trends, I ran across some of the trends that were popular in the 60s. Afro haircuts.
Haircut. Yeah.
And they're coming back too.
They are.
You see afros on many people, whether it's famous or not. Barbie dolls. The Barbie dolls became popular in the 60s.
Well, they're
Barbie's
still
kind of
right?
old now. And bell-bottom pants. Bell-bottom
No,
pants.
those can't be coming back.
A little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit. Yeah, flared pants, I think they're
Flared
called
pants.
now.
Okay.
But I had some. And
Well, you were a swinger back then.
yeah, right. Not really. Go-go boots. I didn't have a pair of those, but a lot
Go-go
of
boots, yeah.
girls had go-go boots, and they'd wear those to the dances.
Yeah.
And another thing Phil and I were talking about was lava lamps.
Lava.
Did you ever have a lava lamp?
Oh yeah.
It was really fascinating to watch
that big glob of red would just kind of make its way.
Yeah,
oh,
they could be
that was
red, blue,
fantastic.
green, whatever color. You just sit. They kind of hypnotized you, I think.
Yeah, you could just sit for a while and watch
I don't
it.
know if any of them are still at the flea market stores or not. And mini skirts. Well, I don't think mini skirts ever went out. They came in, but I think there's still lots and lots of mini skirts around. Those were some of the trends of those days. Okay, let's go back to cost of living in the
Good.
60s.
Did
Well,
Bird
the
go?
wages went up about $2,000 because they were $6,200 then,
Okay.
yearly wage. And then the per hour, $1.25.
Whoa.
$1.25. A new house in the 60s was $18,000. A new house.
A new house.
Can't believe that.
My.
We
18.
bought a used house in 1958 for $3,000. This
Mhm.
was just a used house. I mean, an older house.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
stamp went up to 5 cents.
Uh-uh.
My goodness, that was bad when it went up to 5 cents.
I don't think the stamps never went down, did they?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Gas at that time was 30 cents a gallon.
Okay.
Bread was 29 cents.
Oop.
And a movie ticket was 86 cents. I don't know why they come up with those odd
Yeah.
numbers
Just
rather than 10, 20, 30, or 40. And do we know who the president was in the 60s? A very short-lived president.
a short-lived. Oh.
Good-looking guy.
Good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Short-lived.
Had a young family.
JFK.
Yes.
Yeah.
John Kennedy was our president.
Yeah.
Sadly, he got assassinated on November 22nd, 1963.
So we're talking about the time of the beatniks. What do you call them? You know, with
Yeah.
the long hair, and they lived in a tent, and they had a lot
The
of
hippies.
tattoos. The hippies.
The hippies.
That's the word.
They were in the 60s, and I think they went into the 70s just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, they originated, from my estimation, well, there was the big place in New York where they gathered for a big old reunion.
Oh, a musical
Right.
extravaganza.
Yeah, but I remember talking about hippies in California too. I think they were on the west and east coast,
Okay.
not so much in Iowa,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think they originated on the east and west
Yeah.
coast.
Okay.
Yeah, it almost made you afraid to be around a hippie. You didn't know what they were going to do. I think they were fairly harmless, but
Okay.
they just, the way they looked and the way they did things.
Mhm.
They lived a free life.
Free
The
life.
life was free, you know. Well, in 67 then, Lyndon Johnson became president right after Kennedy.
Okay.
In 67, he was actually voted in as president. He took over right away.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he finished the term and then went and was voted.
Okay.
And then in January 27th in the 60s, I don't know which year here, NASA astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee were killed
Ooh.
in a fire
Okay.
on an Apollo spacecraft. That was sad.
Yeah.
Also,
They got off the ground and were in their
I think
flight.
so. I think so.
And okay.
And the Vietnam War
Yeah.
was going on.
Mhm.
The Korean War had been in the 50s, and
Yeah.
it went into the Vietnam War in the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still had wars.
Boy,
Still had wars.
the country was sure divided about that one, the Vietnam War.
Yes, that was a little bit of a controversy, the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
My husband went into the Korean War after it was over, but they still were guarding the borders.
Okay.
So he went to Korea in 54, 55, in that.
Yeah.
He was over there for 18 months. But he said all they did was guard the borders.
Okay.
So North Korea couldn't invade South Korea.
Right.
So,
You are just a walking encyclopedia.
well,
of the
I
60s
enjoy
and 70s.
getting on my iPad and looking up information, and I wanted to do it for our podcast.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you did.
That's all I have.
I think we're
We've
about ready to close, and maybe
Yeah.
we should close with a good song.
Yeah,
Do you know of one?
I'm going to find one.
Mary's going to find a good song.
May the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near or far away. May you find that long-awaited golden day today. May your troubles all be small ones, and your fortune 10 times 10. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again.
Well, that will end our podcast. That's
Yeah.
one of our favorite sayings as we
Yes.
end the podcast.
May the good
It was
Lord bless
kind of
and keep
nice to find the song by Jim Reeves.
Okay, that was good. Nice touch for the ending.
You bet.
You know, maybe we should come back sometime and talk about the 70s.
I think maybe I will do a little research on the 70s.
Okay.
We could probably do a whole broadcast on the 70s.
Yeah.
We kind of squeezed the 50s and 60s together, and I know
Yeah.
we went over our time, but you will edit it.
I will edit it.
And we'll narrow it down to maybe 20, 25 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe 25, 30.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay.
But I think we can keep our audience interested by listening to all this
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you another time on the Friendship Village podcast.